Hey, and welcome to our discussion. So grateful to have you here with me. I really hope I am finding you in this space feeling healthy and happy and ready to learn, or maybe just remember something you already knew. I always thought it was kind of interesting that the word education comes from the Latin word educar, and that word means to bring forth from within. And that really resonates with me. I feel like when I hear a truth, even if it's new material, it's almost like that feeling of, aha, I know this. And it like comes out, it wells up within you. And that's what truth feels like. And it is true. It comes out from within you. All that knowledge is already in there. You just have to kind of spark it with inspired talk. And that's really what I hope that these discussions do for you, is just kind of spark you up and bring out something that maybe was already in there to begin with. So, tonight we're talking about how every step is sacred. I really like this sentence. I feel like it's really important, and it's like the first step in true awareness is to recognize that every step you take is sacred. Every action you make reverberates into our entire world. And, this whole world is frequency based. And if you imagine physically, like when you take a step, like say you're a tiny ant watching you take a step, it reverberates. There's like that doom, sort of like in Jurassic Park, where when the dinosaurs take the step and everybody can feel it, and the water kind of drips and shakes, and there's like, oh, we know what's coming. Well, I mean, that's us just on a smaller level. And not only does your physical steps reverberate, but your actions also reverberate into the world. And we're going to kind of dive into that too a little bit with the golden rule. I think that is a super important lesson to be reminded on a regular basis. I know it's super old school and we probably all know all about it, but we need to bring it up to remind ourselves about how every action we take reverberates into our world. So, our first technique for tonight is the every step is sacred mentality, going into a technique that I would call walking sacred. So, it's something that you got to start out doing on purpose, but then you'll find yourself, it's really more of a checking in with yourself. But first, you'll do the technique to teach yourself awareness and then bring it into your mundane everyday, activities like washing dishes or driving or garden work or whatever you do a lot of work or not. But okay, so walking sacred. I want you to set a 2-minute timer, or if you have a good mental clock, you can just use your own mental timer and go to your front door. And when you open the door, step out. And when you take that step, I want you to think to yourself, every step is sacred. Next step, every step is sacred. Next step, walking out into the world, every step is sacred. And then look around and you'll create like a panoramic type viewing. We have that focused in view when we're reading or looking at a phone. And then when you look out onto a landscape, you create like this panoramic view. When you do that, it'll relax your mind and kind of open up your senses. And then I want you to take in some slow, deep breaths with this every step is sacred mentality, panoramic viewing. And I want you to imagine the way you would feel if you're walking down the street and you saw the person that inspired you the utmost in life, or like a musician that you are totally intrigued by, or a public figure that has always inspired you, or someone in your career path that really inspires you. And imagine the way that you would look to them when you see them walking on the street. It's like you have this look of awe, especially like how people get with famous people, that like awestruck. I want you to use that same awestruckness in your own view of your own world, regardless of how decorated your home or mundane it is, or whatever your view is. Look at with that awestruck feeling and continue to take steps in sacredness. Every step is sacred. Feel the reverberation of your footsteps underfoot. Keep your view wide open, your brain relaxed, calm your mind. focused on this awe awareness. And after you've done this for about 2 minutes, you're done. There's nothing to come out of with. You can think, you could journal if you want to about the experience, or just meditate on the experience, and then catch yourself checking in and saying, am I walking with that same sacred stepping as I did in that exercise? And I just want you to check in with yourself throughout the day and see how that goes for you. Our second technique is inspirational water drinking. Now, I'm sure most, if not all of you, have heard of Dr. Emoto's water experience. That was done back in like the early 2000s. He wrote a book about it where you talk or say positive, happy, good vibe music into water, and it creates like these gorgeous crystalline snowflakes and just beautiful shapes and the structures that are just gorgeous. And when he would talk mean or hateful music or hateful sounds into the water, that it would look like practically like battery acid, like it's all jumbled up and no correlation going on. It's just like a bunch of different squigglies. And I think that that is such a good representation of how powerful words and sound really is. And everything is vibrational. And water is alive. It is life. And so let's use that science for our own benefit. Take a glass of water, the freshest, the better. And you're just going to hold your water and you're going to put your mouth to it almost like a mic. And you speak into this mic all the things that really make you feel awesome. Like if somebody says it to you, or something that you kind of want to hear, or just, motivational speaking to yourself, like you're doing an awesome job. I love you so much. You're so wonderful. You're a great being. You're such a light in the life of everyone around you. And you just speak life into this water, this live living water. And as we know through the experiments, that it really takes on the vibration of what you put into it. It's malleable in that way. It can change structure in that way to whatever vibration is put onto it. So not only are you cleansing whatever was already there, but you're also just really uplifting and giving that positive energy. And then you just drink it. And you drink it down. And again, we're going to take a meditation at this point. As you feel yourself drinking the water, pouring down your full body, imagine that crystalline structure, those snowflakes pouring all through your entire body, crown to soles, and really just cleansing and restoring and filling you up with that good vibrational energy straight from life, straight from the source, infused with your own powerful, loving, healing vibrations, the same ones that you give to other people so willingly. You can pour into yourself as a way of self-care. All right, our third technique is about the golden rule. So, we all know the golden rule. Do unto others what you want to do, have them do unto you. And it's not that we're all living that perfectly. I've made my own mistakes. I think every single one of us can say there's been a time when we didn't do that and didn't treat someone the way we want to be treated. And even more into that is the feeling of, like, when you're having an interaction with someone and they do you wrong, this idea of I'm going to do them back like they did me, or I'll talk to them the way they talk to me so they can feel it. It's almost like becomes this justice system rather than you speaking in the way that you would want to be spoken to, with love, with, acceptance and forgiveness. And it's something that we need to really cultivate, because we can either act from our heart or we can react from our ego. And really, it all comes down again to presence. When we react, you just get into your head, you're distracted with whatever thoughts are triggering you, and then you're reacting from that space. But when we remember to treat other people the way we want to be treated, then no matter what, comes out. If you're talking to someone and you're trying to treat them the way that you were hoping to be treated, you're going to keep coming back at them with love and acceptance. I'm not saying this is some perfect thing that you can cultivate in every situation, but maybe it is. Maybe it is possible. And I think that the deeper teachings of yoga is about cultivating that presence so that we can act in love instead of reacting in the ego. So that's not really a technique, it's just a life thought, this action instead of reaction. And you can take these words I'm giving you and remember them. And when you get into a moment where you're beginning to react, remind yourself, act, not react. Act with love, or you're going to be reacting from the ego. So, yeah, that is tonight's little talk. And I'm so grateful that you were able to join me. And I'm so grateful to be able to do this with you, to be able to prepare for these discussions is a study in itself. And it's just been a really great, positive time. And I'm just so happy to share it with you all. All right, much love. And I will be talking to you soon on our next yoga series coming up very soon. Probably by next week. But, it can be a little bit, it's all as it goes. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.